You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet.
This is Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce, the Doug Stewart Show.
Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Follow Stewart Media and Entertainment right now on Facebook and stay connected and locked in for upcoming events like the Couples and Cocktails series, viewing parties, and much, much more. Up next, The Doug Stewart Show, Sports Talk with Hot Sauce.
Yeah!
Exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW. This your boy Doug Stewart for my folks at System 5 Electronics. They're proud to offer my listeners here in the Metro Atlanta area all the way down to Macon, Georgia, the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for that busy lifestyle you lead for as low as $16.50 per month. Here's some of the reasons why you should choose System 5.
Hi, I'm Maceo Brown, President and CEO of System 5 Electronics. We take pride in making sure that security is the #1 thing that we do. And thanks to you, the customer that has supported us, we have grown this company in Southwest Atlanta, where we're creating jobs and opportunities.
Not only is their monitoring station here in Atlanta, but they also install the most advanced, up-to-date alarm systems where you can access cameras, lights, door locks, thermostats, and other devices remotely with your smartphone. 24/7 technical support, plus the lowest service call fees in the business. And check this, you own the security alarm system once it's installed. And you get direct access to the owner if you ever got a problem, Mr. Maceo Brown. Click on the banner on the Doug Stewart Show website or app for more details, or give them a call at 404-756-0736. Again, that's 404-756-0736, or online at System5ElectronicsInc.com. That's System5ElectronicsInc.com.
You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials, because the revolution will not be televised.
Do you want that real sports talk? Unfiltered, unsanitized? Well, you have found it. This is a revolution in radio. The realest, trillest sports talk show in America. The Doug Stewart Show. This is sports talk for the people. Yeah! What's happening? Yay! Yeah, this is a Wild Out Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining your boy. I really, really do appreciate it. And, man, a lot of good stuff to get into today. One more time. Roll it back one more time, DJ. Y'all didn't know I got my own DJ, right? Huh? All right, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. And you can email your boy at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. You can jump into the chat room. Speaking of which, man, shouts out to everybody already in the chat room. Who we got here? My man Vince Wright, Sluggo, Jungle Brother, Fred Mack, Cedric Galloway, that Ninja, Rel Scott, Kim Jane, Mocha Bella. Yes, yeah, shouts out to all of y'all, man. Thank y'all for being totally interactive with the Doug Stewart Show. All right, man, so I got some big news today in the world of fantasy sports. I'll tell you about that. We're going to get into this Chris Borland story a little bit more, the guy that retired from the San Francisco 49ers. Manny Pacquiao's in the news. Pouncey twins activate. Trent Richardson has a new home. Shaquille O'Neal gets dissed. So those are all some of the stories we're going to get into today on the Doug Stewart Show and have a lot of fun. March 18th, 2015. I already gave you the number, 404-382-0338, and you can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But what everybody's talking about, tonight, the 2-hour season finale of Empire. Yes! Yes. And this show, man, let me dial it back just a little bit. Now, this show really, really has me captivated. Not just me. It seems like America's captivated by it. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. But it's not in the class of, The Wire or anything like that, or Sopranos, any of the legendary shows like that. And a lot of it's got to do with the fact that it's on network TV, okay? And those other shows, they have more liberties because they're on cable, okay? So we get that. But, I mean, as far as season finales go on network TV, I can't remember being more hyped and in anticipation of a season finale. I can't. I'm trying to think. And there's a lot of obvious ones out there, and probably the all-time greatest is the Dallas cliffhanger on Who Shot JR. But I don't know, man. I started thinking about that, and I started thinking about anticipated albums and TV shows and season finales and sporting events. And, what were you hyped about? What have you been hyped to see? In anticipation and kind of in honor of this Empire thing tonight, man. 2-hour finale? I mean, that's unprecedented. I mean, who else has done that? Who else has added an extra hour? And I don't know if they had it planned like this from the very beginning, where the season finale would be 2 hours, or, when they saw that things caught on fire and everybody was feeling the show, if they decided to mix it up a little bit. That's what it kind of seems like to me. But, I mean, I am really geeked about seeing this season finale of Empire tonight. So here's the question I'm throwing out at you. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. This is dude talk. It's sports talk, but it's dude talk, and it's water cooler talk. It's under the shade tree talk. It's barbershop talk. It's basement talk on the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so everybody's talking about Empire, so we're going to talk about Empire. Mama call him Clay, I'm going to call him Clay. All right, so here's the question, and it's kind of like a Dougie Daily, and it's all over the place, but you'll get it, and you'll be totally interactive with your questions on Spreaker.com, the Doug Stewart Show, and So here's the questions. A couple of them. I'm just going to throw them out at you. Name me another TV show that you've been in more anticipation about, or had bigger anticipation for, or just as much. Also, album. A new release, a sporting event, anything in that realm of couldn't miss TV. You just couldn't miss it. You couldn't wait to see it. I remember, man, and I used to have a routine for The Wire. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I literally had to be in my seat, in my basement, with a bowl of popcorn and a big-ass soda. Yeah, 15 minutes before The Wire started, every Sunday night. I mean, I literally had to. In the last episode of The Wire, which, kind of... for people that don't remember the last episode of The Wire, man, is basically they tied everything together. And I think the message in the last episode of The Wire, and people debate about it all the time, there's actually classes some universities have concerning The Wire and its writing and the theories and the means behind it, the meaning behind it. The last episode of The Wire basically, to me, in a nutshell, said the more things change, the more they stay the same. Yeah. I mean, you had Marlo, the last episode. Marlo just basically pulled off his tie, and he got back on them streets. The little kids that they were talking about in schools, they were dropping out. They were still on the corner selling drugs. The school system was horrible. The politics in the city of Baltimore were horrible. And they all kind of showed, like in little capsules in the last episode, that nothing's really going to change. We went through 5 seasons of the show and all the drama that was encompassed in it. And at the end of the day, nothing's really changed. And so that was kind of like what I got from the series finale of The Wire. And so, in honor of that, man, and that talk and TV talk, man, let's talk a little bit about Empire tonight. And obviously tomorrow we're going to get into it hot and heavy after we see what happens tonight. But I am really geeked about it, man. What are your thoughts on it? What do you think is going to happen in this episode tonight? What do you think is going to happen? Last week, Boo Boo Kitty didn't even appear in the show. You had a lot of little loose ends. I talked about them a couple times with Olivia, a.k.a. Raven Simone, something dealing with that. You don't know what Lucius has got going on, what he's trying to do. Andre crazy as a loon. Jamal came out of the closet. All kind of little things going on. Seems like somebody's going to get killed. They'll kill you. Obviously they killed the dude. What was his name? Boogie? I don't think his name was Boogie or Booney or whatever. So they'll kill people too. So I'm kind of geeked about it, man. As you can tell, I am really geeked about this show tonight. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of a sporting event that I was geeked up to see, and there's been so many. It seems like every single year I'm just totally geeked up to see the national championship game in college football. I'm trying to think of one in particular that jumped out at me more. Oh, definitely. What was it, 2003? The Miami Hurricanes taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes, a game that Ohio State stole, or the referee stole from Miami. I was definitely geeked up to see that. That's probably one of the top 1 or 2 sporting events that I was just ready to see. You can go all the way back to Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson after all of the controversy, and supposedly Tyson was ducking Mike Tyson, and they finally got it on, and the ear-biting incident and all that stuff as well. What else? Tyson and Lennox Lewis. Yeah. Very geeked to see all of those big-time sporting events. So is there a particular sporting event in your mind that just pops into your mind immediately as far as something that you were just psyched to see and you could not wait to see, and the conversation and the smack talking about said event was just at an all-time high? Like, what's your sporting event that you look forward to more so than any other? That's what we're talking about today, man. That's what we're talking about today on the Doug Stewart Show. All right, 404-382-0338. And you can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. The easy way, though, is to be totally active or interactive in the chat room on Spreaker.com. All you do is go on Spreaker, hit the little follow button, follow the Doug Stewart Show first, and then hit the little speak bubble and jump into the chat room and be totally interactive with all of the Stewies, the dogs, and the poodles. Yes, sir! That's right. So when we get back from the break, man, I guess I got more commentary on this Chris Borland guy, the guy that calls it a career after only 1 year in the NFL due to concerns about his health. I want to touch upon that a little bit more, man. That's been a big conversation starter in the world. So we'll talk about that when we get back from the break. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! The Doug Stewart Show. The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show. If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! This your boy Doug Stewart for my folks at System 5 Electronics. They're proud to offer my listeners here in the metro Atlanta area all the way down to Macon, Georgia, the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for that busy lifestyle you lead for as low as $16.50 per month. Here's some of the reasons why you should choose System 5.
Hi, I'm Maceo Brown, President and CEO of System 5 Electronics. We take pride in making sure that security is the number one thing that we do. And thanks to you, the customer that has supported us, we have grown this company in Southwest Atlanta where we're creating jobs and opportunities.
Not only is their monitoring station here in Atlanta, but they also install the most advanced, up-to-date alarm systems where you can access cameras, lights, door locks, thermostats, and other devices remotely with your smartphone. 24/7 technical support, plus the lowest service call fees in the business. And check this. You own the security alarm system once it's installed. And you get direct access to the owner if you ever got a problem, Mr. Maceo Brown. Click on the banner on the Doug Stewart Show website or app for more details, or give them a call at 404-756-0736. Again, that's 404-756-0736, or online at System5electronicsinc.com. That's System5electronicsinc.com. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you so much for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. Yeah. And today's date is March 18th, 2015. Why do we always want to associate Hustle and Flow with Empire? I don't know. It just seems natural. I guess for the obvious reasons. Taraji Henson and Terrence Howard both starred in both those movies in TV series, so that's kind of like the little connection. This segment is brought to you by System 5 Electronics. They're proud to offer my listeners in the Atlanta area the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for your busy lifestyle for as little as $16.50 per month. What? That's incredible, man. They've been around for over 25 years. Right here in the ATL, they can go as far statewide as Macon, Georgia. And if you've got an issue with your security alarm system, man, of any issue at all, you got any type of problem at all, you call up there at 404-756-0736, and you ask to speak to Mr. Maceo Brown. Yes, sir! You asked to speak to Maceo Brown, and he's going to take care of you, all right? The number is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Quick shout-outs to Hampton, man, the Hampton Pirates from the MEAC. They win the first four last night, their game against Manhattan, 74-64. So shouts out to Hampton. They claim to be the real HU. If you don't know anything about Hampton and Howard, I mean, obviously their initials are HU, and they have this big thing that goes back and forth every year. Who's the real HU? So it looks like Hampton's the real HU. And I really got kind of like a love-hate affair with Hampton. Very proud of their program on a national scene, getting it done in the NCAA tournament. But Hampton came into the MEAC conference, the same conference that my university is in, South Carolina State, I don't know, probably 15 years now. It's been a while. But when they came into the league, you know, it's Hampton and they're new, and they came in and they started dominating, man. Yes, in football. And so evidently they got a solid squad in basketball as well. And if you've met anybody from Hampton, man, them are some, I'm not going to say across the board, but they are very full of themselves. Let's put it like that. I mean, I guess they're proud. I mean, they got a lot to be proud of. And I think actually A Different World actually was based on the campus of Hampton University. I think a lot of people will tell that story. So shouts out to Hampton, man. They get it done. Big ups to them, as well as last night as well in college basketball in the first four. BYU goes down to Ole Miss 94-90. 404-382-0338. But what I wanted to talk about in this first segment, we're talking about Empire all day, and I'm going to read a lot of your chat messages on Spreaker.com. I will read a lot of those. We'll talk some birthdays in a little while as well. I'm going to talk Mike Tyson and Manny Pacquiao. But the first thing I wanted to kind of talk about and throw out there, man, is have you noticed there's a lot of conversation and there's a lot of big statements being thrown out there about the future of the NFL and football because Chris Borland, linebacker in his first year, after playing his first year, retires. And people are surmising that this is going to be the norm, that we're going to see a lot more of this. The guys are going to retire from football. Because of the information that we have now health-wise in playing the game of football, we're going to start to see a lot more of this. And let me reiterate it, and I kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday, but let me just reiterate it one more time. This is what you call an outlier. This is an aberration. You know, Chris Borland, God bless him, he made a decision for himself, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. He made a decision for himself sounds like on his own free will and accord, and he's got to live with it. And he's happy. We should all be happy for him. As a matter of fact, I mean, it's pretty courageous, to be honest with you, to think about it, that a guy is foregoing all that money, all the fame that comes with playing in the NFL, and he's thinking outside of the box. Now, when I say outside of the box, I'm talking way outside of the box. Way outside of the box. A couple of things, man. I said it yesterday. Chris Borland retiring, it's not so much for me in my mind that, well, I guess part of it is, and a huge part of it is his concern for injury in the future. But I think really probably if you did a little scale and you weighed, him being concerned about his health in the future and him not liking football, I think it probably tilt more to the side of him not liking football. And everybody doesn't like football. Just because you're able to do it doesn't mean that you like it. You know, a lot of guys do these things because, people in their family or they grew up in a setting where football was popular and they just wanted to be one of the guys. But, man, I've come across a lot of people that if they had, if they could just follow their desires, they wouldn't want to play the game. And not just that game, but we're talking football right now, but any sport for that matter. And to me, that's what this thing really boils down to is that Chris Borland just doesn't want to play football. And he's an outlier. Most guys, to get to that level, you really have to be passionate about it. You really have to want to do it, okay? You wouldn't get that far if you really didn't want to play football, okay? And so I don't know what Chris Borland's reasons are or why he decided to pursue a career in football and play college football at Wisconsin and play at that high level. But I know ultimately right now, he said that he's done with it after 1 year, foregoing all the money, all the fame. So that kind of tells me in the back of my mind he really didn't like the game, okay? And the second thing, observation about this whole story, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, is people, going to the extreme and saying that you're going to start to see this a lot more. No, you're not going to see this a lot more, I don't believe. And also to the fact that people are concerned about their health, and when I say people, I'm talking about athletes, football players in this particular case, are concerned about their long-term health to the degree that they're going to quit earlier now. And I need to remind y'all of something now. I do. I need to. And I don't think this has been really talked about a lot over the last couple of days since the story's come out. You got to remember, the NFL has been around, 100 years or so, okay? And the there's 30 teams, there's 32 teams right now. So you're talking 53 guys on each roster. That's not even counting practice guys. And, so you're talking, 1,600 players right now today. And that probably changes out every other year, in the masses as far as how many players are in the NFL and how many players aren't, okay? A lot of guys, they only play 3 years. I think that's the average years of players in the NFL. So, yeah, we're starting to see these stories of guys with the ill effects of concussions and having a tough time in life. And we see the stories on Tony Dorsett, and we see Earl Campbell with a cane. But, there's probably a majority, and not probably, the majority of the guys, and I saw Darren Woodson talk about this today on the Puppet Factory. I had the TV on, and he talked about how he's fine. And most guys you talk to are fine. I know a lot of guys that played in the NFL, obviously, with just the relationship between me and my brother. And so I'm talking about guys that played football with him in college. I'm talking about guys that played with him in the NFL. I'm talking about teammates of mine in college. I'm talking about guys that I know that play college football other places. And most guys that I know are fine. So what we're talking about pretty much when you talk about the real harsh stories, the harsh realities of football and things that could come about, I think you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%. Yeah. And now that's a lot. I mean, if you could prevent and stop all ill effects of playing the game of football, that's what you want to do. I mean, that's what we all want to do. We don't want anybody to get hurt. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see guys walking around with a cane or in a wheelchair or, got Parkinson's syndrome or anything like that. You don't want to see that. We get that. But remember, and I used to have the same argument with your boy Skip Bayless all the time about another subject. He always talked about how he didn't like guys going out, athletes going out, because if they go out, they can get in trouble. And you see these guys getting in trouble, the police blot or this, that, and the other. But those guys that get in trouble, just like these guys that get hurt in the NFL long-term and have these long-term effects, is a very small number in relative terms to all of the guys that play in the NFL. You got Greg Hardy and Adrian Peterson and Ray Rice and those guys. But that's it. You're talking about guys with major stories involving the police. You're talking about 10, 15 guys out of 1,600. And I think pretty much it's probably the same thing with these injuries and these concussions and CTE and all the long-term ill effects of playing football. What are your thoughts on that, man? And do you agree with me? Yes or no? Do you agree with me that this is a big story? I'm not trying to negate the fact that it's not a big story, but do you agree with me that this isn't going to be the norm? I mean, it's as simple as that. Do you think this is going to be an outlier like I've been explaining over the last 10, 15 minutes? I really do believe that it's just going to be an outlier, man. I do. Good luck to the young man. But I don't think it's going to be a line of guys trying to quit playing professional football and everything that comes with it. And just remember, Chris Borland, I don't know, there's probably 50 guys capable of playing in the NFL. Maybe not quite as good as Chris Borland. Maybe they didn't test as well at the combine. Maybe they don't have the instincts that he does. Maybe he didn't, they didn't pass their Wonderlic test with as flying colors as maybe he did. But there's guys that are going to fill this role willingly. Probably 50 to 100 guys right now walking this country, walking this earth, that would love the opportunity to play linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers. All right, when we get back from the break, man, I got to catch up with all of this chat, man. Everybody's talking about Empire. Yes, sir. And what are your thoughts on Chris Borland? We'll do all of that, as well as Manny Pacquiao was in the news. May 2nd is right around the corner. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. System 5 Electronics is proud to offer my listeners in the Atlanta area the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for your busy lifestyle for as low as $16.50 per month. Here's just a few reasons to choose System 5. Not only is their monitoring station located here in Atlanta, but they also install the most advanced, up-to-date alarm systems where you can access cameras, lights, door locks, thermostats, and other devices remotely with your smartphone. 24/7 technical support, plus the lowest service call fees in the business. And check this, you own your security alarm system once it's installed. Not only have they been around for almost 25 years, but their customer service is excellent. And you get direct access to the owner, Mr. Maceo Brown, to resolve any issues with your alarm system. Click on the banner on the Doug Stewart Show website or app for more details, or give them a call at 404-756-0736. Again, that's 404-756-0736. And make sure and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-File, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. If you're not stewing, what in the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show. I'm going to read a lot of your chat here in a second. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But the way to go is the chat. That's right. So I'm going to read a lot of your chat here in a second. I was just thinking during the break. So this weekend, as I told you, I went out of town, had a little homeboy reunion. Couple of guys that I went to high school with, my hometown, a couple of frat brothers. And it's funny, we were in the room. We got rained out one day. We got rained out on Saturday. So we were in the room. We got to this conversation about, back in the day and something dealing with high school football or whatever. And this is all tied into the Chris Borland conversation. And we had this debate. So we called one of our teammates that we played with back in the day and asked him this question. And and we were trying to figure out exactly what we used to do before games, all right, to kind of give you a little background on the story. And I said one thing, and my boy in the room said another thing. We used to go here for a pregame meal, and my friend that was with me said, teammate said, we used to go there. So we called another guy on the phone, had him on speaker. Guys do a debate type thing. And we said, so-and-so, where did we go for our pregame meal? And so the guy on the phone, shouts out to my man Junior D, he says, we used to go to this place, agreeing with my friend that was in the room. I'm trying to tell the story in a way that you can understand. And so, the guy on the phone with me where I was at says, why do you think, why Dougie don't remember? And everybody calls me Dougie from my hometown. Why do you think Dougie doesn't remember that? And my boy on the phone was like, the reason why he doesn't remember is because he was getting his ass tore up every day. Yes. And tying into this whole story with Borland, I get it, man. I get it how concussions are playing a role in the conversation of what's going on in the NFL. My junior year of high school, man, and I'm laughing now, but it was real serious. And really going back to even when I was a kid playing Little League football. I played running back my entire life, every single year. And I promise you, once a week, I probably got a concussion once a week every week during football season of my life and just didn't know it. And we used to just call it getting your bell rung, okay? And this same particular guy I'm talking about, Junior Duncan, me and this guy played Little League football together. We played junior varsity. We played varsity. This guy was an animal, okay? Linebacker, played linebacker. And when I got to varsity my junior year, I remember vividly, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I remember vividly, like every time I come through for an isolation play or something like that, 42 isolation play or whatever, at least once, twice a week, I'd just get like nailed. I mean, nailed where, I saw the little birdies flying around in a circle, and I'd have to lay down there for like half a second. I'd pop up because my old man and coaches always tell me, don't let them see you hurt. So I'd pop up, but I'd be dizzy. Yeah, I'd be dizzy. Yes, definitely. So I definitely understand, man. And for the most part, once again, obviously, I got all my faculties about myself. I am fine, okay? Tying into the story about Borland, I believe that he's an outlier. I am fine. And I know guys with the same stories that have been through the same wars in high school football, college football, pro football, and the vast majority are okay. I mean, the vast majority are okay. And I don't know if a lot of this stuff is just media hype and sensationalizing, the story about CTE and concussions or not. But the vast majority, people, if you got kids, okay, if you got kids and you decide whether you're going to let them play football or not, I mean, the vast majority of athletes, football players, are fine. It's as simple as that. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yeah, I used to get my ass tore up my junior year. I used to dread going out there, but I had to keep going back. And we had a fantastic team. We went to the state championship, and like 5 or 6 of the guys on that defense that I'm telling you about, they played college football or were good enough to play college football, whether they did or not. And so, yeah, man, I mean, I'm fine. Knock on wood. And I always joke about concussions, and I think my short-term memory is probably skewed a little bit because of all of the contact that I received in my life. But, I mean, for the most part, I'm all right. I'm good. Very small percentage of guys with very long-term effects. I think that number is very, very small. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. I didn't do birthdays yesterday. Let me do this quickly, man. Shouts out to Kyle Korver, 34 years old. His birthday was on yesterday. Cordell Patterson, 24-year-old wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. Emmanuel Sanders, 28 years old, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tamar Braxton is 38 years old on yesterday. Shouts out to her. And, wow, Patrick Duffy is 66 years old. Speaking of Empire and cliffhangers and season finales, Patrick Duffy played Bobby, JR's brother, on Dallas. You remember what else? And if you're old school, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, if you're old school, you remember the other show that Patrick Duffy played in? It didn't last but maybe 2 or 3 episodes, but I loved it as a kid. I probably was, I'm going to guess, and I'm going to have Tree look this up for me. I'm going to guess this show was on, I'm going to guess 1982. But Patrick Duffy starred in a show called The Man from Atlantis. Y'all remember that? And basically he was like, bootleg Aquaman or something like that. And I guess he was from Atlantis, obviously the man from Atlantis. And he used to have this real funky swim. And he didn't swim like regular people. He swam, I guess, kind of like a manfish would swim. And I used to love the show, but it got canceled. I don't think it even lasted a season. But, yeah, Patrick Duffy is 66 years old. Him and Ponch from Chips celebrate birthdays this week. Queen Latifah, 45 years old. Vanessa Williams, 52. Oh, boy, you remember the first time you saw those pictures of Vanessa Williams in that Playboy? Ooh, yes, Lord. I remember, let's see, she was Miss America in 1984. And so I'm guessing those pictures came out probably in 85 or 86, a couple of years after she won Miss America. So 85, 86, I was in the 8th, 9th grade. Yeah, I remember somebody at school brought it to school. Vanessa Williams naked. You got to see Vanessa Williams, what are those young people called now? But JJ? I mean, that was incredible. Brian Scalabrine celebrates his birthday today. Charlie Pride, country singer, 77 years old. Charlie Pride still around? Oh, country-ass Charlie Pride. So happy birthday to all of those celebrities, athletes. And if you got a birthday, man, I'll give you a shout-out on the show. Hit me in the chat room and say, hey, man, today is my birthday, and I'll give you some love. Stagger Lee says, I used to get geeked up for the Atlanta Classic when FAMU played Tennessee State. They effed up by letting South – oh, here you go. They effed up by letting South Carolina State broke ass in the game. That's a lie. That's a lie. As a matter of fact, if you've been to the Atlanta Classic over the last couple of years, South Carolina State travels well. We bring much fans. It's A&T that don't bring no damn fans. Yeah, A&T fans don't travel. From Ronald Cameron, Tyson Holyfield won, Leonard Hagler, and the Minnesota Twins versus the Atlanta Braves, Game 7. Yeah, I remember all those as far as things that were highly anticipated. Can't miss TV. Sluggo, De La Hoya versus Floyd had Vegas on lock back in 2007. That's a very good one right there. I think we were at that fight. No, I don't remember. I don't think we went to that fight, man. We went to I always talk about it. That's one of the real perks of working for, a radio station that I miss is going to Vegas on their dime and on HBO's dime. But I don't think we went to that fight because I kind of remember seeing it on TV. So I don't think we went to that fight. But we used to go to like 2 fights a year. Detroit Matt, the first Holyfield and Tyson fight, yeah. I remember exactly where I was at Holyfield-Tyson. I was in Memphis, Tennessee, and this is when I had like a little independent record label here in Atlanta, me and 4 other guys, and one of our groups performed in Memphis at this like Civic Center or whatever they opened up for, some other groups, and we actually were in Memphis, Tennessee, and I remember us going to like a sports bar or something like that to see the fight, and the whole thing was absolutely crazy if you know what happened with that. Gary Joyner, Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hagler. Stagger Lee, can't miss TV when Keith got on with the Bears and everybody moved out of the ghetto on Good Times. That's a good one. Even though you're an a-hole, Stagger Lee, that's a very good one. I mean, I remember where I was at. Man. The final episode of Good Times. Yeah, Walona got her own apartment. JJ finally got a job drawing cartoons. And Keith signed a deal with the Chicago Bears. Yes, sir. Thelma was pregnant. That was overload. Keith bought an apartment, and the apartment magically was right where Walona bought her apartment. They all got out of the ghetto. That was fantastic, man. That was fantastic. Yeah. That was can't miss TV. That was couldn't miss TV right there. All right, when we get back from the break, I'm going to read more of your chat, man. A lot more chat out there. And also, we got to talk a little bit. I talked about boxing over the last segment, some of the bigger fights that we anticipated. Manny Pacquiao's in the news. And Mike Tyson gives you his analysis of the upcoming fight between Pacquiao and Mayweather. We'll talk about that up on The Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam. The Doug Stewart Show. The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show. If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play. So, you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show, and it is a Wild Out Wednesday, talking about Empire, talking about can't miss TV, sports and beyond. Tonight, the season finale of Empire, so we're having a lot of discussion about that, talking about sporting events, TV events that you couldn't wait to see in honor of Empire tonight. Hit me up on the chat line on Spreaker.com. I'm reading a lot of your chat from there. And also, man, if you're a company out there and you like to partner with the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you, man. We are doing huge things around here. I mean, big-ass things around here, man. The listenership is growing every single day. We get new followers. We've got over 100,000 listens, so we can get the word out. The demo listener to the Doug Stewart Show obviously is dudes for the most part. I don't know, middle-aged dudes that like sports, mostly in Metro Atlanta. So we can get the word out, man, and we'd love to partner with you and your company, all right? So email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and let's do some business. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you about how you can win $1,000. You can wager for $1,000 and do absolutely nothing, okay? All right? So stay tuned for that coming up. I mentioned in the last segment, and Tree, can you jump on for a second? Jump on for a second, Tree.
Hey, love. What's up?
Okay, so I asked you to go and research when the man from Atlantis, and it's Atlantis, not from Atlanta. Trees told me somebody in the chat room thought that I said the man from Atlanta. No, the man from Atlantis, you know, the underwater world.
Atlanta, Peanuts, it's all the same.
Right. So I asked you, what year did that show premiere? What year was it?
1977.
77. Okay, so it actually came on before Dallas because Dallas was early 80s, right?
Right.
Okay, so Patrick Duffy started his own damn show. I don't know how many episodes they got. Can you tell or what you're looking at?
It only lasted a year.
But it lasted an entire season?
Yeah, just one. Yeah.
I love that show. I mean, I thought it was cool. I always thought Aquaman was cool, even though he's probably one of the lamest superheroes out there. So when they came up with this man from Atlantis thing, and he was swimming like a damn fish, but he was a man really, like a fish, I thought it was like the coolest thing ever, man. So that was 1977, so I was 7-8 years old, man. Shouts out to Patrick Duffy, his old ass. Yes, sir. Yeah. From Kim Jane, must-see TV, Scandal, Detroit Matt, The Blacklist is that deal. I've heard great things about The Blacklist. That might be the next show that I jump into after I finish this Breaking Bad thing, which I'm still on season 3. Hadn't been able to watch it a lot over the last couple of days, so I might jump into that. Gary Joyner says Quantum Leap was my show. Mr. GQ, New York Undercover, never missed it. Yeah, I never missed New York Undercover either. Oh, Ashy Lip Malik Yoba. I never missed that show either, man. Juan Cruz, The Sopranos, and The Wire, must-see TV. Ronald Cameron. Vladdy Divac says Shaquille was just a big and strong and not talented. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later in today's show as well. 443820338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But I mentioned before we went to the break story about Manny Pacquiao. Not really a story, but Manny Pacquiao has already started sparring. So he's trying to get it together. Yeah. And so Manny Pacquiao was already starting to train for the Floyd Mayweather fight going down on May 2nd. And also his trainer for Manny Pacquiao has come out and made some real tough, strong statements. We'll talk about that a little bit later and get into that conversation. But I'm also going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about Mike Tyson, and then we talk about Freddie Roach. We're also going to talk about Mike Tyson, who made some comments giving kind of like his analysis of this fight. Tyson with Pacquiao and Mayweather coming up on May 2nd as well. So stay tuned for that conversation as well. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. This is the Doug Stewart Show. As I mentioned in the last segment as well, I've got some big news for you as far as fantasy sports. And, how you can make some money, how you can learn how to play fantasy sports without putting down anything at all. So stay tuned for that as well. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. I mentioned earlier about Trent Richardson. He's been released and cut from the Indianapolis Colts. Really a big disappointment. His first couple of years in the NFL. First with the Cleveland Browns, who drafted him out of college from Alabama. Traded subsequently to the Indianapolis Colts. And now he is landed in Oakland. That's right. He's going to be playing for the Oakland Raiders. And Trent Richardson, man, it's funny when you talk about Trent Richardson. I think you could go back and listen to shows that we did on this guy and where we talked about this guy and how we thought that he would translate to the NFL. And I never thought that he was that great of a player. I didn't. Even when he was in Alabama, he was big and strong, and he scored a lot of touchdowns, but I never thought he had the quickness. I never thought he had the elusiveness to be a good NFL player. And he's a big guy in like a small man's body. Dude is obviously cock diesel, but he just doesn't have the elusiveness, once again, I think, to get away from defenders. And so we're going to see what happens. He's, in effect, gotten a new life in Oakland. Obviously, Oakland loses Darren McFadden, who goes to the Dallas Cowboys, so they need a running back. Maurice Jones-Drew retired recently as well, so they needed running back help, and they get Trent Richardson. And this is pretty much the last stop. Like, if Trent Richardson doesn't show up for whatever reason it may be, and he's given some excuses, I'm going to call him excuses on why he wasn't effective and why he wasn't the back that everybody thought he was going to be coming out of college in Cleveland and in Indianapolis. If he doesn't get it done, and I mean have an impressive year, a year where he could be talked about as one of the elite backs in college football, then, I think this is it. This is his last shot to get it done. He might be a guy that will be a career backup on a team, but I think right now he's getting his real opportunity. He's getting a real opportunity to shine, and the Raiders are going to, I think they're going to give him the opportunity to do it. And so we're going to see what happens with Trent Richardson. We're going to see if this guy can get it back together, and be the guy that we all thought, or most people thought, was coming out of college. Let me read some of your chat here from That Ninja. Malik Yoba showed dopehead tendencies by letting a gunman in Lucius's house. The treatment is warranted, Fred. And I guess what people are saying in the chat room, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, is that Malik Yoba might be got tonight. He might be, done in tonight. From Scotty, the only thing Lucius got is a bad case of overacting. Terrence Howard does overact, man. He is very dramaful. Gary Joyner, I think Cookie is going to go on slapping spree tonight. Fred Mack, Empire, Malik Yoba character going to be the one to hurt Lucius for all that disrespect Lucius shows him. Staggerly, I think they're going to find out Lucius don't have ALS and have a case of bad asthma. Scotty, Vanessa Williams and Playboy was a life-changing experience. Yes, sir. Yes, Lord. I mean, wow. What movie was that? Was it Revenge of the Nerds? Every time I saw those pictures of Vanessa Williams, all I remember is that line from Revenge of the Nerds. We have Bush. Wait a minute. Wait. I didn't mean to say that. But we are on the internet, so it's okay. From KC, if Key signed a big contract with the Bears, why was he buying an apartment close to Walone? No, Walone had moved on up too. You don't get this. You don't remember what happened? Walone had got like this. She got like a pay raise because she had gotten a new job at the boutique. I guess she became like a buyer or something at the boutique, a regional manager or whatever at this same damn boutique she worked at forever. And so she was making money where she could move on out to the good side of town. And so that's what Keith was moving to. From Harvey Scott, Doug, you can't believe a word Tyson say. A crackhead will say anything, laugh out loud. I don't think Mike Tyson's a crackhead. I mean, come on now. Mike Tyson's had some tough times, but he's not a crackhead. And I'll let you hear his comments about the fight coming up in the next segment. Let's see. From Quasicoto Haduchu, Q. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Duran. Yeah, I remember that. That was big time. I was much younger for me, but I remember the hype surrounding that and talking about can't miss TV or things that were highly anticipated in sports and beyond. That's what we're doing today. That's your Dougie Daily question for the day. All right. The number is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. I'll read your emails. I'll read your chat. Today we're talking about Empire, man, getting hyped up for the season finale. 2 hours tonight. The season finale on Fox. I can't wait. I can't wait, man. So we're going to definitely be talking about it hot and heavy tomorrow on the show, on the Doug Stewart Show. Make sure you're passing the word about the Doug Stewart Show, man. I mean, tell one person. Just tell one person about the realest, the trillest sports talk show in America. The most unfiltered sports talk show in America. And make sure you check out my Twitter account at The Doug Stewart Show and retweet today's lucky tweet. It's got your lucky numbers and your daily fortune and all of that good stuff. My Twitter handle is at TheDougStewartShow.com. When we get back, Mike Tyson talks and Manny Pacquiao getting ready for Floyd Mayweather. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to The Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on The Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at Doug@TheDougStewartShow.com. Once again, that's Doug@TheDougStewartShow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at Doug@TheDougStewartShow.com. That's Doug@TheDougStewartShow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's Doug@TheDougStewartShow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam.
the best of the Doug Stewart Show.
So I'm probably 6. So Jesse Bryant rolls by, and I remember it like it was yesterday. He rolls by in his truck, and for some reason, something in my mind says, pick up a rock and throw it at Jesse. And I hit his truck. And not only did I hit his truck, it was a damn good throw and aim because it hit his windshield. And it cracked his windshield. So he stops and jumps out of the truck. I don't think anybody saw me, but he jumps out and, Isaac, so your grandson hit my truck with a rock. They had a little conversation. I'm like, oh man, this is bad. And sure enough, my grandfather walks up and sees this nick on the windshield. And Jesse rolls away, and I know I'm in trouble. My daddy not around, my mother not around, and my grandfather reaches down, and this is God is my witness. Strike me down right here. My grandfather reaches down and pulls off a branch from a rose bush. Yes, just drags his arm and pulls off the leaves. Thorns are still applied to said switch. You get your ass whipped with a switch is bad enough, but a thorny switch? He commences to busting my ass with a thorny switch. Yes. And you know I was marked up from head to toe. Now, that's probably child abuse. Not saying that what Adrian Peterson didn't do was child abuse either, but that was child abuse. That's a deadly weapon. And this is no lie. You're listening to The Doug Stewart Show.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW. Hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show. Wild Out Wednesday. The number is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. And talking about Empire season finale tonight, 2 hours. Also getting your thoughts on Chris Borland. Do you think that this is the first of more things that come in football? Will these guys call it a career much earlier? Will they not take the risk? Talked a little bit about Trent Richardson. And then also I kind of told you we're going to get into this Manny Pacquiao conversation. But Pacquiao basically has already been training and working out, but he hadn't really sparred. Finally got into the ring after 13 days of strength and conditioning and boxing drills in the Philippines. He got into the ring and actually did some sparring. So everything's on course for May 2nd between him and Floyd Mayweather Jr. Mike Tyson. Now, Mike Tyson's somebody that, I would consider their analysis and their thoughts on boxing of the sweet science to be very, very reputable. I guess that's probably the best word to use. And so Mike Tyson was asked by Fox Sports, credit Fox Sports, his thoughts on the May 2nd fight, and here's what he had to say.
I want to talk to you about Pacquiao Mayweather because, you would have an insight into this that most people wouldn't. Who do you think's going to win?
This is really complex because, first of all, I always thought, Pacquiao's going to beat this guy because, he's perpetual motion. He doesn't necessarily step to the side, which is fantastic. He gives angles, diagonal. He's this way. Instead of going this way. He's fast. And I always thought that he would win because the people that gave Pacquiao his most difficult fight are guys like Timothy Bradley and Marquez because they throw over 100 punches around. And Floyd's very reserved with his punches. He's like a mandler. He's very smart and dialectal, and he picks his shots and he plots and he grabs you. And if Floyd was to be successful in this fight, he has to fight like we never saw him fight before. He had to totally change his game.
Yeah, I apologize about the quality of that clip, but I think you could hear what he was saying, and you probably may have heard it in other places already as well. But in effect, what Tyson's saying is that Floyd's going to have to fight a totally different fight than he's fought in the past, that he's never really seen a guy that throws this many punches, a flurry of punches like Pacquiao does as well. And also that, Pacquiao is going to struggle a little bit because he hadn't had a lot of great history with guys that throw a lot of punches as well as guys that have great defense. And talking about Bradley and Marquez. So we'll see. I don't think that Tyson didn't really give a prediction as far as who he thinks is going to win. He just thinks that it's going to be a much different fight than both guys have seen in the past and some of the guys that they fought already. So what are your thoughts on this Pacquiao Mayweather fight May 2nd? It's already highly anticipated, kind of like into the conversation we're having today about highly anticipated TV shows, season finales, series finales, sporting events. Having a lot of conversation on that today on the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. A little bit later in today's show, as a matter of fact, speaking of which, in about 10 minutes, we're going to talk to my guy, Brandon Peters from AskNow.com. He's the expert on the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors take on the Atlanta Hawks tonight. These are two teams that a lot of people, a lot of experts in basketball, obviously based on the record, feel like have a chance to win an NBA championship this year. More so for Golden State, I think. When you talk to people, they feel like Golden State just has the talent to get it done. Not so much for the Atlanta Hawks, but I'm going to tell you what, the Atlanta Hawks right now, 11 games ahead in first place in the Eastern Conference. Don't sleep on the Hawks. So we're going to talk to Brandon in about 10 minutes and get his thoughts on tonight's Hawks and Golden State matchup. Let me read more of your chat here. The number is 404-382-0338 or 0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Here go the great Stagger Lee. Here go the great Stagger Lee. If you're new to the show and new to the chat room, just ask somebody in the chat about Stagger Lee, the legend of Stagger Lee. Antoine Fisher is going down. You can take a man's cookie. You can't take a man's cookie without a bullet. Okay, I get it. Talking about Empire tonight. Stagger Lee is also a fledgling comedian. From Scotty, if Borland was black, he would be labeled a quitter. Didn't take the game seriously, etc. I don't think so. It's all based on how they played, or what they did in that year. If you give the response that this Borland kid gave on why he quit football, you can't really be mad at him. And I don't think that he really even tried to throw the NFL under the bus or tried to question, the way that the procedures for handling concussions in the NFL. He didn't throw the San Francisco 49ers under the bus. He didn't throw anybody under the bus. And in fact, what he said is, this is just a personal decision, that I'm not playing football anymore. So I don't think that there would be a difference in opinion in how they looked at the player if this was a black player doing the same thing that Chris Borland did or not. I don't agree with that. From Kiss My Go to Hell, due to set financially, he can play, but his heart's not into it. It's as simple as that. I agree with that. From Harvey Scott, I agree with you, Doug. Borland didn't love the game. He played just to get a nice little nest egg. Yeah, I mean, he made in effect $1 million. Now, $1 million, I mean, you probably couldn't live off $1 million for the rest of your life. I mean, he's a young guy, so he's going to live another 40 years. But invested the right way and living off the interest, and these certain investment accounts, he could probably get a monthly income from that money, man, to live fairly decent. If he just tucks it away and invests it, yeah. I mean, it's really not that hard. From Mr. GQ3, Chris Borland's pop has an investment company. He ain't worried about money. That's another thing that I meant to throw out there as well in talking about Chris Borland. We don't know this guy's background. This guy might come from money. And from what Mr. GQ is saying, he does come from money. Okay? And so when you got money and when you're not worried about your next meal, yeah, the way you look at things are going to be much different than a dude that comes from humble beginnings. All right? Let's put it like that. And so if this guy comes from a situation where his people's got money and he don't have to worry about money and he didn't even have to play football in the first damn place? Yeah, it's very easy to just walk away and refer back to a couple of concussions that you had in high school. That's something else we haven't talked about enough as well with this story, is this dude, he didn't have even concussions or injury issues in the NFL. It was back in high school and then college. He said he sustained a concussion in high school, I think playing soccer, and then won his sophomore year in college. But that's about it. Or maybe it was in high school. I'm not exactly sure even. But that really hadn't been talked about a lot. This isn't even anything that's occurred with Chris Borland in the NFL, per se. It's more so that when he was a younger guy. So, yeah, I mean, he don't need football. He didn't really like football. He don't need football, so why do it? That's his mindset. From Niner for Life. Should that question be asked at the Combine? How long do you plan on playing? That could have been a first-round pick. Yeah, he was a third-round pick, and I'm pretty sure they asked those type of questions at the Combine that the scouts do, maybe in one form or another. They may not just come out and ask, outright, how many years do you plan to play football? But they may ask the question, how much do you love football? Or is it your desire to play a long time in the NFL? Those Wonderlic questions, as well as the personal, the team interviews, the one-on-one interviews with the players at the Combine. I'm pretty sure the question, it may have even been asked just straight out, how long do you plan on playing football? I don't know. And if it weren't just straight out asked like that, somewhere or the other, in a roundabout way, they do ask players, their love and their long-term goals for playing the sport. I know that. From that ninja, if he's not hurt now, he's stupid. Yeah, once again, he's stupid if he doesn't have a plan. But clearly this dude has a plan. I mean, he's not stupid. Obviously, a very smart young man. You can hear when he talks. Sounds like a smart kid. And if he comes from money, he's not stupid. We don't know his background, his financial situation, where it's concerned with him and his father. That Mr. GQ said that his dad owns an investment company. From John Fisher, for every Chris Borland, there are 100 others who don't get drafted that will fill his shoes. The NFL will be fine. From Stagger Lee, speaking of someone going down, do you think Jennifer Hudson is going to go and top? Oh, here you go. I can read this. Tree. I can read this right. You gotta finish. I can read this right.
Yes.
Sorry. You're using all kind of street vernacular. Stagger Lee, speaking of someone going down, do you think Jennifer Hudson is going to go and top Antoine off after that BS she pulled last week about praying? Top him off. This is the first sports talk show in America where you hear the term in the street vernacular, top him off. Yeah, right here on the Doug Stewart Show. Damn you, Stagger Lee. Tree.
Yes, sir.
So, you approve of that type of talk, huh? You okay with that?
Listen, if you are going to nominate me because I peed on myself on accident, then all bets are off.
All bets are off. Okay. All right. Thank you, Tree. All right. We get back from the break. Ask Now's Brandon Peters comes on to talk about the Hawks, and in particular the Golden State Warriors. He's going to talk about the Golden State Warriors as a guy that watches this team intently every single day, every single time they step on the court. We'll get some of his expert analysis about that team and their chances of winning it all. BP's also from the Oakland area, so he's been a Golden State fan for a long, long time. Friend of the show, Brandon Peters, coming up next, talking some Golden State Warrior basketball. Don't go away, the Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up. and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there, all right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! The Doug Stewart Show. The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show. If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! This your boy Doug Stewart for my folks at System 5 Electronics. They're proud to offer my listeners here in the Metro Atlanta area all the way down to Macon, Georgia, the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for that busy lifestyle you lead for as low as $16.50 per month. Here's some of the reasons why you should choose System 5.
Hi, I'm Maceo Brown, President and CEO of System 5 Electronics. We take pride in making sure that security is the number one thing that we do. And thanks to you, the customer that has supported us, we have grown this company in Southwest Atlanta where we're creating jobs and opportunities.
Not only is their monitoring station here in Atlanta, but they also install the most advanced, up-to-date alarm systems where you can access cameras, lights, door locks, thermostats, and other devices remotely with your smartphone. 24/7 technical support, plus the lowest service call fees in the business. And check this. You own the security alarm system once it's installed. And you get direct access to the owner if you ever got a problem, Mr. Maceo Brown. Click on the banner on the Doug Stewart Show website or app for more details, or give them a call at 404-756-0736. Again, that's 404-756-0736, or online at System5electronicsinc.com. That's System5electronicsinc.com. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. And this is a Wild Out Wednesday. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining your boy. Continue to pass the word and tell people about the show, man. We have fun every single day, Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The show is live. Some people are kind of confused about that. But the show is absolutely live Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you can tune in and you'll see the little red live button, letting you know that we're on the air. And as soon as the show is done, it posts as a podcast as well. So check it out. Pass the word any time of day. The Doug Stewart Show on Spreaker.com, on iTunes, on Stitcher, on iHeartRadio. We are all over the place. Joining me right now, the Doug Stewart Show, Stewart Media and Entertainment line is my man Brandon Peters from About.com, expert on the Golden State Warriors. BP, how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. How you been, man?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Okay, so people that don't know, you got a long relationship with my man Brandon Peters, going all the way back to the early days of the Two Live Stews. He used to come on and talk about some other sports topics. So right now he's still doing his thing. He's from actually the Oakland area. Am I okay to tell that story?
Oh, no doubt. East Oakland all day.
He's from East Oakland all day, so loves his Golden State Warriors, all Oakland sports. So he's working with About.com. He's the expert on the Golden State Warriors. The Hawks take on the Warriors tonight in Oakland, at Golden State. 53-14 Hawks versus the 53-13 Golden State Warriors. So, BP, here's the first question I got you, man. Do you think this Golden State Warriors team can win it all. They've been very good for over the last couple of years, but what's different about this Golden State team and why you think that maybe they can get it done this year and win the NBA championship?
Depth and good coaching.
Okay.
And when I say good coaching, I don't mean Steve Kerr. I don't want to lose my black card. You know, we don't like no brother to lose his job.
Right.
Mark Jackson lost his.
Right.
But it's not just Kerr. I wrote a story about this earlier this year. It's Ron Adams, who came from the Bulls, who's gotten Steph Curry to buy into playing defense. It's Alvin Gentry, who is the offensive mastermind behind the team, you know, as well as Kerr. And remember, Gentry was at the Clippers last year, which is why the Clippers offense ain't really clicking this year because he's gone. And then you got, and I hate to say this, but you got Luke Walton, who has actually played against these guys that the Warriors are playing against now because he only recently retired, so he can kind of give that knowledge. And that's just not my opinion. I've talked to players on the team, and they'll say the same thing, like you can go and talk to them about certain things, and he gives you that firsthand knowledge. So it's depth and coaching. If you remember last year, our bench was terrible.
Right.
You know what I mean? But this year, you know, you got Iguodala coming off the bench. You got David Lee coming off the bench. You got Sean Livingston, who's been playing out of his mind since the All-Star break. So it's just depth, man. They're like too deep at every position.
Talking to Brandon Peters right now from About.com about the Golden State Warriors. Who's the leader on this team, man? Both of these guys, and obviously when you talk about the bigger name guys, you're talking about Klay Thompson and you're talking about Steph Curry. Is there a leader on this team? Is there a veteran leader in the locker room?
Steph is the leader of the team.
Wow.
Steph is the leader of the team, hands down. I think because, you know, he's a Christian brother, he's married, you don't see him out in the streets. People think he's like this nice guy. Plus, he light-skinned, so everybody thinks, you know, he's a nice guy. Steph got that Jordan and that Kobe.
Wow.
I've been around him a few times. He's a killer on the court. And he's probably one of the most competitive people in the NBA. Heart and soul of the team, definitely Draymond Green.
Wow. Talking to Brandon Peters right now from About.com about the Golden State Warriors. Let's talk a little bit more about that whole dynamic of Mark Jackson being fired as the head coach and Steve Kerr coming in his first year coaching, doing a fantastic job. But really, what at the end of the day, what was the problem? We've heard a lot of rumors, but what was the real problem between Mark Jackson and Golden State Warrior management?
I think Mark Jackson's style of empowering the players also alienated himself from the organization. You can't you can have the me against the world mentality, but that can't include the people that sign your check. You know, when he allegedly kicked Jerry West out of a practice, I think that was the tipping point.
Wow. Talking to Brandon Peters right now from About.com. And what makes Steve Kerr such a good coach in his first year as head coach in the NBA? And it looks like we lost BP. We'll try to get him back on the line. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show talking about the Golden State Warriors. They take on the Atlanta Hawks tonight. And I was about to get into some conversation, just as opinions, because he's a guy that lives in the metro Atlanta area as well. I was going to get his thoughts on the Hawks on the flip side, even though he's the Golden State Warrior guy. And I think we got Brandon back on the line. Brandon, you back on the line?
Yeah, I'm here. I got you.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts? You're a guy that went to school here in Atlanta, live in the metro Atlanta area. I know you're the Golden State Warrior guy, but let me get your quick thoughts on the Atlanta Hawks and this team and what they've been doing. 11 games in first place right now. They're going to win the Eastern Conference. Do you think the Atlanta Hawks are for real?
Man, I'm impressed. I can't lie. And it's funny, a buddy of mine who owns a clothing line here in Atlanta called Vintage, my man Anthony Classic, he told me before the season started, he was like, we will be a top 3 seed, we will win over 50 games. And he explained it to me, and I thought he was crazy. But, man, I'm impressed. I don't know if this is going to translate into wins in the playoffs, but as far as being a great regular season team, I'm extremely impressed how the guys have bought in. I've been a Jeff Teague fan. I wrote a feature on Teague over a year ago for Slam about how he was that next guy. I just honestly, the playoffs to me are about stars. And I don't think there's a star on this Hawks team.
Right. Last thoughts, last question. Before we got cut off, I was going to ask you about Steve Kerr and talk about the job that he's done as a guy. Relatively, he's a long-time basketball guy, obviously, all the championships and all of the great things he's done, even as a GM in Phoenix for many years. But talk about the job he's done as a first-year head coach of this Golden State Warriors.
I think the job he's done is amazing, considering that he came into a squad where your number one player and many guys on the team absolutely loved Mark Jackson, and they go to war for Mark Jackson. I think he came in and he ingratiated himself with the players almost immediately, flying out to meet Andrew Bogut, talking to Steph, talking to Draymond. Like, I think that helped him in the long run. I don't think he came in with that this is my team mentality. I think he came in like, hey, I see what you guys have done. I'm just trying to improve on it. And that's what he's done. And like I said, it's not just him. It's the staff. I think the difference between him and Jackson is Steve Kerr hired people who he probably thought were smarter than him. With Mark Jackson, I believe he hired people that he could empower, but he could also control.
Right. Wow. Well, interesting stuff tonight at Oracle Arena in California, in Oakland, California. The Golden State Warriors taking on our Atlanta Hawks. BP, thank you so much for the time, man. We'll talk to you some more down the road.
Who you got in the game tonight, man?
Oh, I got the Hawks, of course.
We got to talk about that a little bit.
Well, you know what? In the last game, when the Hawks played the Golden State Warriors, there was all this buildup when Golden State came to Atlanta. And I think after that win, that's when people started to open their eyes and say that this Atlanta Hawks team is for real. I like them to go out there to get a win the other night against Sacramento. I like them to go out there and make a statement. Like, if they really want to make a statement, winning on the road at Golden State is a statement. I like the Hawks to win tonight.
One thing you got to say, though, that game was somewhat of an anomaly. I mean, the Hawks went to the line 37 times in that game. Right. And also, I think they shot like 70% in the second half. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, they weren't missing anything. I think that you guys, with the Hawks not having Korver tonight, not having Mike Scott tonight, is going to hurt a lot. And for the Warriors, Klay Thompson's out for 7 to 10 days, but the Warriors, like I said, have a lot of depth. They'll be able to make up for his offense. The defense is something different. We'll see.
So let me guess, you like the Warriors tonight?
It honestly, it's a pick'em game to me because you got the points matchup. Korver and Scott together score the same amount of points as Klay does. It's just if the guys pick it up defensively, in my opinion. And, it's at home, though. The Warriors don't really lose at home. They've lost 2 games this whole year at home. So if I had to put bread on it, I would say the Warriors and a close one.
Yeah, some of the best fans in basketball, definitely at Golden State. Hey, so BP, we're going to talk to you down the road, man, some more. Obviously, we get closer to the playoffs. You're a basketball guy, period, so it's not just about the Golden State Warriors, which that's what you're an expert of, but I'd love to have you on, man, to talk some more NBA as we get into the playoffs and down the road, all right?
No doubt.
There he is, Brandon Peters right there from About.com. Yes, sir. All right. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. And you can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. We get back from the break, man. I got like a little update about Suge Knight and what's going on with that. We talked about that like a week ago. So I'll tell you about that, and I'm going to read more of your chat. That's what we do around here on Spreaker.com, all right? So once again, jump on the Spreaker chat, be totally interactive, and keep listening, all right? So don't go away. Keep it locked. This is The Doug Stewart Show. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam.
The Doug Stewart Show.
The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show.
If you ain't Stewart, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW.
Hey, man, we got to do a radio version of this song. Let it ride. I think I got something for it. Well, I'm Easy E, I got women galore. You may have a lot of women, but I got much more. With my super duper group coming out to shoot. Easy E, homegirls, in the booth, 'cause I'm a monster. I used to be a monster.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. And it's a Wild Out Wednesday. Talking about all these little things going on in the world of sports. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@dougstewartshow.com. And as I mentioned before we went to the break, and I'm going to read more of your chat here in a second. Thank you so much for the chat. I really do appreciate that. I mean, I really do, man. The chat would, and I say this every single day, and I really do mean it. I mean, the chat makes this show just fly by. It does. It makes the show just fly by. So thank you so much for the chat. I'm going to read a lot of that in a second. But I was telling you before I went to the break, the guy that survived the Suge Knight hit and run proudly told deputies that he attacked Suge with a flurry of punches right before getting run over. According to investigators' documents, Cleo Bone Sloan, who I talked about the other day, the dude that's been in all of the little gang movies, and he had a little cameo in Training Day. That dude, Cleo Bone Sloan, was still in his hospital bed when he described the incident to cops by saying, "I effed him up." Okay? Now, let's stop for a second. Let's back up. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. If you saw the video, which was horrific, it's amazing. Like this guy, Cleo Bone Sloan, should be like, I don't know, the 8th. Is it the 8th or the 9th? The 8th or the 9th wonder of the world. Dude got ran clean the F over. I almost cussed just now, and is still alive to talk about it. He's still in the hospital. I'm thinking that he's got to be paralyzed because he just got ran over by a truck. But we talked about this, and I'm not no Suge Knight fan. I don't know the man, okay? And I don't want nobody going back and telling Suge stories that Doug Stewart was talking about him, all right? So don't do that. What I'm saying is that if you saw the video, and I commented on it, and I talked about how I think this guy, based on what I'm seeing from the early onset and watching the videotape, that I think that Suge is going to beat this case, okay? You can kind of see because on the video, the whole incident with him, hitting Suge through the window was kind of like in the corner of the tape, but you could clearly see, kind of blurry looking, that they were fighting in between, the door, through the window. And this guy's admitted to it. He's admitted to it. And you can also look at the videotape and see that the guy had a gun on him. One of his boys or one of his compadres or whatever ran up to him when he was on the ground and pulled a gun off of him and put it in his waistband. So, I mean, Suge says he was scared for his life. Suge's done a lot of bad things, clearly, allegedly. Let me say that. Allegedly, and he's not the nicest guy in the world, but in this scenario, with a half-decent lawyer, you could probably get Saul, from Breaking Bad to represent him, and I think Suge's going to beat this case. We'll see, man. We will see. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@dougstewartshow.com. I said I'd read more chat, and that's what I'm going to do. Ronald Cameron. The Roots miniseries was good up until O.J. Simpson was there running down ninjas and throwing nets over them. And I don't know why y'all hit the rim shot. That's not funny. But, yeah, that was heartbreaking, and especially a kid that was a fan of O.J. Simpson at the time. I was probably more disappointed in O.J. for throwing nets over ninjas back in 1977 than I was for him with the whole case with Ron Goldman. I mean, it was heartbreaking. If you saw Roots and you remember what happened in that series, man, O.J. was like one of the he was like on the take from the slave traders. And I guess they give him, I don't know, some beads or something, just like the Pilgrims gave the damn Indians and, ished on them for Manhattan. But I don't know, they gave O.J. some beads or something. I don't know, and O.J. started just catching black people for the slave traders. That was horrible back in 1978. From Fred Mack, Roots the miniseries. Remembering going to school the next day and everybody talking about the different characters from the night before. Chicken George, Kunta Kinte. Yeah, it was couldn't miss TV. That Roots series, man. I mean, and I've seen it several times since then. But I remember that was like a big, big deal every night. And I don't know, it was broken up into, 4 or 5 nights maybe, or 3 or 4 nights. And, each night was like you could not wait. And all of this can't wait conversation comes from can't wait, can't miss TV tonight, Empire. Everybody's talking about in America. And so we got talking about can't miss TV, something that you were excited to see. From Jungle Brother, I'm about the only ninja that act like, that like Columbo and Rockford Files. No, you weren't the only one. I did too. Back then they had all of the cop shows. Columbo, Rockford Files, Barnaby Jones, Hawaii Five-0. I mean, that you're talking late 70s. You're talking late 70s when they had all of the cop shows on that were very prominent. And they still got cop shows. I mean, they still got cop shows. I can't think of any right now because I really don't watch network TV outside of a couple of shows. But, yeah, the cop shows, they always work. And Barnaby Jones, remember Barnaby Jones? What was another one that was back during that era? There were so many. That pretty much sums up the bigger ones. Columbo, Rockford Files, James Garner, Hawaii Five-0. Big time fans of those. I don't know if it was Can't Miss TV, though. Niner for Life. What about the A-Team? Yes, the A-Team was Can't Miss TV. Yeah, it was. Oh, here comes Stagger Lee again. Stagger Lee is on fire today, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I've read 5 or 6 messages post on in the chat room from Stagger Lee. Let's see. I believe the boutique was a strip club. Okay, here we go. Well, Lona wasn't making that type of money selling dresses. Oh, damn you, Stagger Lee. Well, Lona worked at a boutique. She did not work at a strip club. I mean, I can see how some people might think she's got some type of other life going on that she's keeping secret because they only showed her at the boutique one time. You remember the episode they showed with Lona at the boutique? You remember she had got another raise. She had got another job, a new job at the boutique. And her job was to spy on people in the dressing rooms. And you remember that white lady came in there and she stuffed all of this stuff down her bra? And Walona had to tell on her. And they were watching her through like a two-way mirror. And Walona had to stop doing that job. Even though she needed money to buy an instrument or something for Penny, she had to quit that job. She just had to. It was outside of her morals. Hey, I promise you, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I will battle anybody in the world about Sanford and Son trivia and about Good Times trivia. Anybody in the world, and I promise you I'll hold my own. I promise you I'll hold my own. I'm going to guess that I've seen every episode of Sanford and Son and Good Times probably 15 times each. And that's not exaggerating. I promise you. Yeah, the only time they ever showed Walona at the boutique is when she got that job spying on people with the two-way mirror. And they showed her at her job, and she quit that job, and I guess she went back and got demoted back to, just selling store clothes at the store. I don't know. From Sluggo, Terrence is a clown for even suggesting using the N-word on network TV. We're the only community okay with such nonsense. I don't know how I feel about that. If you haven't heard that story and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, allegedly Terrence Howard has been campaigning for the TV show Empire to freely use the N-word. I hear what you're saying, Sluggo. I get that. But then I also see the other side of it is you want to try to make the show seem as real as possible. And let's be honest. We throw around the N-word like it's going out of style. I mean, we do. Especially in personal situations, like you talking to your boys, you talking to, people that you're close with, where there's no cameras running or whatever. So I guess in his mind, he's thinking it will add more realism to the show. I get that. But then the other side, I understand what you're saying as well, too. You don't want to start that precedent, even though Fred Sanford used the term back in court 30 years ago. Look around here. It's enough. Yeah, to make a Tarzan movie. You know how it goes. From Niner for Life, Terrence Howard is crazy. They mentioned using it on TJMS. From that Ninja, I agree that it would make the show more realistic. Detroit Matt, that's the point I just made. Ronald Cameron, Ninja, I saw that episode of Roots where OJ was working with the slave owners, and when one tried to run away, OJ ran him down. Yeah, and that was the funny part about it. It's sad. Obviously, the TV series Roots was very sad, but it was funny because in your mind as an 8-year-old kid, you see this dude, LeVar Burton, Kunta Kinte, trying to get away from it wasn't the slave name guy on the show. It was O.J. Simpson. And you knew LeVar Burton didn't have a damn chance from getting away from O.J. Simpson. Yeah. And, I mean, the juice looked like he ran like a 4.2 40. O.J. was like world-class sprinter as well at USC. I think O.J. ran like the anchor leg on the 4x100. So, I mean, you knew he was fast. But, I mean, O.J. was world-class fast. And yeah, O.J. ran down the darn African dude, man. That was horrible. It was funny, but it was horrible. From that Ninja, without Google, you can't name another woman that won Miss America. Vanessa ended up benefiting from the picks that were meant to destroy her career. Yeah. That's true. It really did. Well, and then she was the first black Miss America as well. So I think that her brand was already bigger than all the other Miss Americas that preceded her. I believe that probably would be the case as well. But I think the picks kind of did put her out in front of the entertainment world. You understand? Already she was fine as hell. And then she showed Bush. Yeah, that was next level daring back then. Ooh-wee. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was watching, man, what I was looking at. When my friend brought that magazine to school in his book bag, you know how we used to do that. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm actually looking at Vanessa Williams naked. Yes, and I did say naked, not naked. Naked. It was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable. So I guess it worked out for him, man. The Jungle Brother, Doug, you must have forgot about all the hell Demetrius Underwood experienced after he quit the Vikings under Dennis Green. Yeah, but I don't remember the story. And I guess what he's talking about is the difference. Someone had mentioned earlier that if a black player had retired in the same manner that Chris Borland would, they would take a lot of heat. I don't remember the circumstances with Demetrius Underwood. I got to go back and look at it, to be honest with you. I just don't remember the exact circumstances. Wasn't he like bipolar or something? Wasn't he sick? I don't remember the exact scenario and what the press was saying about Demetrius Underwood when he quit from the Minnesota Vikings. I'll try to look that up and get more abreast of it. All right, when we get back from the break, more of your chat. And also, man, a little bit about the NCAA tournament. We'll talk a little bit about that. Some big wins last night. Not really. Don't go away, the Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to The Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on The Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
So, I'm probably 6. So, Jesse Bryant rolls by, and I remember it like it was yesterday. He rolls by in his truck, and for some reason, something in my mind says, pick up a rock and throw it at Jesse. And I hit his truck. And not only did I hit his truck, it was a damn good throw and aim because it hit his windshield. And it cracked his windshield. So he stops and jumps out of the truck. I don't think anybody saw me, but he jumps out and, Isaac, so your grandson hit my truck with a rock. They had a little conversation. I'm like, oh man, this is bad. And sure enough, my grandfather walks up and sees this nick on the windshield. And Jesse rolls away, and I know I'm in trouble. My daddy not around, my mother not around, and my grandfather reaches down, and this is God is my witness. Strike me down right here. My grandfather reaches down and pulls off a branch from a rose bush. Yes, just drags his arm and pulls off the leaves. Thorns are still applied to said switch. You get your ass whooped with a switch is bad enough, but a thorny switch? Oh my gosh. So he commences to busting my ass with a thorny switch. Yes. And you know I was marked up from head to toe. Now, that's probably child abuse. Not saying that what Adrian Peterson didn't do was child abuse either, but that was child abuse. That's a deadly weapon. And this is no lie. You're listening to The Doug Stewart Show.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW. Don't take this the wrong way, man, but I absolutely love my listeners, even the dudes. Thank you so much, man. The chat room is on fire. Yes. So I see in here a couple people want to try to challenge me to a Sanford and Son Good Times trivia battle. You don't want none of this. I'm just going to tell you right now. Somebody put in the chat room who would have named the two cops on Sanford and Son. Come on, man. I mean, that's elementary Sanford and Son trivia. Hoppy and Smitty, come on, man. I mean, come on, man. You got to go way, way deep to try to get me on some trivia with Sanford and Son. Because once again, I am very versed in the art of Sanford and Son and Good Times. I am. Once again, I've probably seen, and I said 15 times, but I mean, they show reruns year-round for the last 40 years of my life, man. I mean, seriously. It's probably, I don't know, 30 times, that I've seen each episode of Sanford and Son and Good Times. 30 times. And my wife really hates it when we're watching it, and I'll just say the lines before the character says them on TV. I'll just repeat the line. Yeah. And so you don't want none of this, man. I'm going to read some of your chat here in a second. Tree, jump on the mic for a second. Tree.
Yes, sir.
Jump on the mic for a second.
Yes.
So what are your plans? We were trying to put together this Empire viewing party, but it didn't happen, unfortunately. What are your plans tonight? I know you're geeked about it. What are you going to do tonight?
Well, if Vernon gets my tequila to me, no, I'm kidding. I'm gonna get some pizza. I like to do a little buffet, put it out in the living room, and it's on. And I'm gonna be in the group chat going in.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good idea.
So join me.
That's what I'm gonna do tonight. Okay, so listeners, this is what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna have our own damn party on Twitter. We're gonna have a Twitter party. Yeah, we're gonna have a Twitter party.
On Twitter or Facebook?
We're gonna do it in Twitter. You want to do it in both, or do you just want to do it? So I got to do Twitter. I got to do Twitter. Facebook. Okay, so you're going to do the Facebook group page, which is the Doug Stewart Show on Facebook, the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group. You're going to do that, and I'm going to be on Twitter, and we're going to have a Twitter party in both rooms.
Yes.
But let Walter jump on the mic for a second. We'll never bring Walter on. So, sir, let me ask you a question. Are you a big, and we never really, I kind of never get a gauge of how big of a fan you are of the show. Are you a big fan of Empire?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love Empire.
So what's your plans tonight?
My plans is
because you're a greenhorn. I mean, so are you going to have like a greenhorn party for Empire tonight or something?
Well, hold on. First of all, what's greenhorn, sir? That went over my head real quick.
You look it up. That's what you are, is a greenhorn. But go ahead. What are you doing tonight?
Well, of course, I'm definitely watching it tonight, but I'm gonna watch it twice. My lady, I DVR it, but my lady got to work tonight, so she don't get to see it. So, I'll just more than likely watch it twice. But I am gonna be flipping between that and the Hawks game as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm going to DVR the Hawks game. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I don't like watching sports afterwards, though.
A lot of times, I just make sure and don't read any updates or whatever on social media.
Headlines, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll probably be watching Hawks and Golden State at first of all, it's a late game. But I'll probably be watching because I want to watch it from beginning to end. So I'll probably be watching it at 5:30 in the morning.
Do you think anybody will die in this episode, or like what you think something big is gonna happen?
Somebody's definitely gonna get shot, and it might be the cliffhanger. Does the person die? Kind of like J.R. J.R. Ewing. Lucius got a good possibility of getting shot. We'll see.
I think he's gonna be the first person in history to beat ALS. Just all that whole thing. I don't think he's gonna die.
I think everybody, and appreciate it, Walter. I think everybody is on board with the whole, Boo Boo Kitty and her daddy are fooling him. He doesn't really have ALS. I think everybody's on that. Tree's whole conspiracy theory about Boo Boo Kitty being, tied into Malcolm, Antoine Fisher. Maybe that'll come out tonight. Maybe we'll get some type of resolution to Olivia just leaving town with her kid. Maybe there's some more to come from the whole thing with Naomi Campbell just leaving town but tearing up the check that Lucius tried to offer her as a bribe. There's a lot of different ways this thing can go tonight. So I am very, very excited to see it tonight. Yes, sir. From Fred Mack. Daisy whistling Dixie, though. From that ninja, without Google, you can't name another woman that won Miss America. Vanessa ended up benefiting from the picks that were meant to destroy her career. I already read these. Chat messages right here on the Doug Stewart Show. Let me see if I got a couple more that I can pull up and take a look at. Let's see who we got here. From Scotty. That Black Jesus episode was an education. Cutting edge writing in the 1970s. And he's talking about, I think Scotty's talking about the Richard Pryor skit, maybe, that someone actually posted it on my Twitter account. They used my name when they posted it. Richard Pryor did this skit going back to the whole Creflo Dollar conversation from a couple of days ago. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Somebody posted a skit, and I don't know, Richard Pryor had his own sketch comedy show, I believe, early 70s. I know he did, yeah. And he basically did a skit on, a prosperity preacher back in 1970. And he was asking for money and this, that, and the other. And, he was threatening people. But he was doing it kind of like in a pimpish way. And it was real funny. So check out my Twitter account, at the Doug Stewart Show on Twitter. And you can probably find it as well at Doug2 Live Stews. And a couple of days ago, somebody posted the link to one of the skits that Richard Pryor did as this, I guess, prosperity preacher is the right term to use for him as well. Okay, Tree. Yes, ma'am?
Yes. Please, you have to answer this because now I'm intrigued.
Okay. Is this a trivia question?
Yes, from KP.
Okay.
Doug, what's the one thing that Fred told Grady that Donna doesn't do?
Ooh. The one thing that is it toes?
KP, you need to answer.
She doesn't do toes. Because remember the whole thing with with Donna's boyfriend, the guy that the bald head guy that picked up the chair with one arm, and Donna was his nurse, and so Donna did his toes, and Fred was like, "What? You don't even do my toes." So Fred felt slighted. He felt slighted that Donna was doing this dude's toes. Was it toes or a back rub? One of the two. I'm going to say toes. My answer is toes.
You're right. I mean, that's what is coming up.
Yes!
I didn't think you would. I don't know Sanford and Son, but good times, I will come for you.
Right. I'm telling you. And I'm not looking at these questions and looking them up or anything like that. I mean, this is straight off the dome. Yeah, that was the episode where Donna was taking care of the dude. And that's a trivia question. I'm embarrassed. I don't remember the guy's name right now. But everybody got the guy's face in their mind. And she was his nurse. And he started talking. He was sweet on Donna. And he started talking about all the things Donna had done for him. And, one was Donna gave him a back rub. And that he also did his toes. And Fred was like, "What? You don't even do my toes." I'm pretty sure it was toes. It was toes or back rub. Yeah. That was a good episode, too. And him and Fred actually had, like, this competition where they were going to run a race or something like that. And, it's great stuff, man. Just fantastic stuff. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah, man. Yeah. Now, I may not, just like I don't remember the dude's name right now, most people, 90% of the people aren't going to remember that guy's name. So that's not a question that I would lose if I were to go against another guy as far as a battle. Because, something like that, probably 99% of the Sanford Sun fans wouldn't be able to answer the question. What was his name? And this is really driving me crazy right now that I can't remember that guy's name. But you've seen that guy, and he's been in a ton of stuff, or he'd been in a ton of stuff during that era of TV. A bit role, bit actor. And he actually died a couple of years ago. So, yeah. Oh, I know my Sanford Son. I know my good times. I do. Yes, sir. I got a question for you. Are you not entertained? Huh? You know you entertained, man. The realest, trillest sports talk show in America, the Doug Stewart Show. The realest, trillest show in America. Not just sports talk, but show in America. Vlade Divac said that Shaq was strong, but he wasn't a a skilled player, kind of a diss, but not really. He was talking about DeMarcus Cousins and saying DeMarcus Cousins is the most skilled big man that he's ever seen in his life. You know, Vlade has still a relationship with the Sacramento Kings. And so I don't think it was really a diss. It was kind of a diss, but it wasn't really a diss. The Pouncey twins. You know, both of these guys, one of them played with Mike Wallace, the wide receiver, in Pittsburgh, and the other one played with him over the last couple of years in Miami. And in effect, they kind of, sort of, sideways called Mike Wallace a coward for some of the things that he's done over the last couple of years. From their perspective, they did, but they didn't. That's a little conversation as well we didn't even get a chance to get into. Mike Wallace traded to the Minnesota Vikings. Pouncey twins are beasts. But these are the guys that also were speaking up for Aaron Hernandez. So take it with a grain of salt. We'll do it again tomorrow, man. Same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Shouts out to Gerald Oliveri, Dwayne Vasson. Who else? Shouts out, obviously, man, to the Tree of Life. Thank you, Tree, for all that you did today. Yes, sir. Waterhead Walter. Thank you. Once again, tell somebody about the show. Tell one person. That's all I ask. Tell one stinking person. They don't even have to be stink. Just tell one person about the Doug Stewart Show, the realest, truest sports and guy talk show in America. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Peace.